Oh, you are a lot.
Microphone. Oh my God, he's really doing it. What's going on, guys, and welcome to yet another pretentious review for Pretentious Pop Culture. This time, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad on HBO Max. Of course, I am Justin, as cultured a Coyote as ever. Joining me, as always, is the Disney Grizzly, Lucas.
What's up?
This guy. And joining us later, Alex the Bat from In the Bat Loop. If you like this content and you want more pretentious reviews, you can subscribe to our channel here, as well as TikTok. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest in pop culture news, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. Please support our partners, Adventures by Ables.
All great content, all over the place.
Thank you, Lucas. And you can support our partners, Adventures by Ables, the Disney Grizzly's own channel, and Alex's channel, In the Bat Loop, by following them on Instagram and YouTube as well. And if you want to go by the jakesdesignsrw.com, you can find the Disney Grizzly and Culture Coyote t-shirts from Pretentious Pop Culture, as well as some great creative wardrobe designs as well. All links in the description. And please remember to leave a like on this video as well. It really helps us out. And before we talk about Suicide Squad, we're trying to give Alex a little bit of time to get his butt in here. So what's going on in pop culture news, Lucas?
We've had quite an interesting week or two. So first off, I want to note Idris Elba has been casted as Knuckles in Sonic 2.
So I wonder if he's going to have some blood sporting Knuckles in Sonic 2.
No. Oh no, he's already coming in with jokes.
Jokes.
So yeah, that's definitely something that's really interesting. We also some No Way Home information, as in basically no information. Some images, some teaser images got let loose. One of them showed. We got Anna here in the comments already. What's up, Anna?
Hey, Anna.
So one of the teasers was like a bunch of Mysterio stuff. The other one showed like Petey's new suit. And definitely he's using magic, guys. His suit can use magic. So that was also been confirmed 100% now, just from teaser imaging.
Yeah, we get more than just the toy there. And it was very depressing to me. If you want to see how depressing, you can go to TikTok and watch how I reacted to that news.
So moving along, the Morbius director. The Morbius director. Oh, he's here. So the Morbius director accidentally leaked that Tom Hardy is going to be in Morbius.
And who is Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy, for those who are watching, is our Venom. And boy, is that great news. So that confirms that that Sony is basically going to be building their own Sonyverse. Like, it confirms it now. It 100% confirms it. That's awesome news to me. Some sad news though within the pop culture community. We lost a hero of the comedy scene. Trevor Moore from The Whitest Kid You Know died tragically in an accident at the age of 41.
So shocking.
Like, that's super tragic news. I remember growing up watching a bunch of his stuff. Super funny man.
The Whitest Kid You Know, WKUK on IFC, man.
The one that. Oh, what's up, Jose?
Jose. How you doing? We're gonna be around for a while before we get into spoilers.
Yeah,
you can stick around if you want to hang out. But
yeah. Anybody in the comments, if anything we ever talk about in the pop culture news interests you, go ahead and throw something up there. Mm-hmm. But I can definitely say, Justin, that the skit that reminded me, made me think the most when this was announced was the Abraham Lincoln skit. To this day,
Mr.
that is the fun.
Would you please sit down and shut up?
I still to this day, I watch it every now and then. It's by far one of the funniest pieces of comedic gold that I've ever seen. And then to wrap this up with something that actually means a good amount to me, the Wednesday Netflix show that's being produced. We now have our Gomez Adams, Louis Guzman from Shameless. He was also in the movie Waiting. He's a very talented actor. I like how they're doing a comic accurate, original design accurate Gomez Adams. Especially since in like the movies, it was more of like there's more debonair, like suave, very like pristine looking man instead of what Gomez Adams was depicted as, kind of like short, portly. The animated movie that just came out was actually a really good representation of what the original Adams family was supposed to look like. So, not knocking Mr. Guzman's appearance, but he definitely fits the bill for what's going to be giving us the new Gomez Adams. And we have Catherine Zeta-Jones also as Morticia Adams. So, interesting cast we got already.
Is that animated or
live action? Live action.
Huh.
It's the Wednesday. It's not even called the Addams Family. It's called Wednesday. So it's about her older.
I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Powerpuff Girls?
Hey, what's up, Yachty? No, I didn't. Is that wait? You mean the TV show on CW?
Yeah.
I heard about that a while ago.
Someone, the person playing Blossom has backed out. So
did she?
Yeah. I'm not interested. I mean, I'm curious, but not interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but I'm curious about it. I'll probably watch some YouTube clips or something.
I mean, that's how I was, and that's what got me interested in the Supergirl show. Was I didn't really care about it, and at first it was on CBS. So then I moved over to like watching a couple scenes from it. It's actually one of the Arrowverse shows. Like it was really impressive.
And we got plenty of time, so I'm trying to look. We got Taika Waititi. If anybody forgot, he's writing a Star Wars movie and directing it. So he actually, according to IGN, he just finished the script, and he says it feels very me. I'm really excited for that Star Wars movie. I'm not excited about.
Hey, honey, glad you're watching.
Hey, Carla, what's up? Always good to have you here. We're getting another Star Wars movie with Patty Jenkins, the director of the 2 Wonder Woman movies. I'm not really excited. Like, it's supposed to be a squadron movie. I'm not really excited. I don't think she's going to do a very good job after seeing. We
did get our teaser. We also got a trailer for the Witcher animated series coming out. We have that. Some anime news, because if anybody's interested in anime, the new Shaman King reboot just dropped on Netflix as well. If anybody grew up in the early 2000s watching anime, Shaman King was definitely on the bill of anime to watch and manga to read. So they got a new rebooted version of it. Great graphics. I've watched a couple, like the first 15 minutes of it already. Haven't been able to deep dive into it because personal life, but it's definitely something that I'm willing to invest time in because I really loved Shaman King when I was younger, and this looks great animation style.
And we also had What If came out today on Disney Plus, which we're probably going to do a live stream of early next week. We're looking at Monday, and we might have a special guest if she's available.
That's true. Anything else, Mr. Justin, within the pop culture community that we can share with everybody?
Usually just steal everything from IGN, but I think we've covered all the recent stuff.
There was a nice little like unloading of stuff this week.
Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays always seem to be the big news
there
is
days. Something that pertains to actually Suicide Squad. Well, as come to know now, the Studio Squad. A lot of celebrities are backing the hashtag release the air cut. I mean, we got the release of Snyder Cut, and it got backed, and Warner Brothers did it. And I, for one, would love to see the original cut for Suicide Squad, all of David Ayer's film and footage that didn't get put into the movie, and see if it would have made a better cohesive story than the garbage Don't Walking Fire that was Suicide Squad.
I would only want that if they could potentially make another movie that wasn't the Suicide Squad.
Dat?
Hey, Dat.
Also, Kevin, I want to shout out to you for coming in early to the stream. Sorry you can't be with us right now. I know you said it's 5:30 where you're at, but he had some discussion points that I might bring up during our thoughts and discussions on the movie, though. But do know we'll get to them.
Yeah, love to hear them.
But when it comes to when it comes to like the Studio Squad movie, like I want to see the original. Like there's a lot of scenes that don't make sense, you know?
As I don't know if we talked about it on one of these live streams, but the first Suicide Squad, when that first trailer came out, it was so well received that with the music having this kind of music video touch to it, they had someone who makes music videos come in and re-edit the movie to make it feel more like a music video, and I think that's probably the worst mistake that the
That was
movie
definitely
had
the first half of that movie.
because it's and we'll talk about this movie, but the editing of that first movie is very all over the place. And
What's up,
Inco,
Krista? Glad you're here.
Krista, good to see you.
Welcome to the Hangout.
Been a while since I've seen you in something other than a chat. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
So it's just this like incongruent mess of editing that first one is. Plus, I think a lot of the story elements are not very strong, especially with the Enchantress. I also hate how they introduce some of the characters, notably Katana, when she shows
Mhm.
up, and
That is a sour
Rick
point for me
Flag
in that
just
movie.
goes, "This is Katana.
Katana.
She's got my back."
Back. Her soul, her sword keeps the souls of those she kills. You don't want to die by her.
When
Come
you're
on,
doing
man.
a movie, when you're making a movie, you have opportunities and upon opportunities to show and not tell, and that is strictly telling. They're just like, "Here's something that you should just accept because we just told you to accept."
That was
You don't need
everybody
to
in
move
that
on.
movie, though. They just told us everything. They didn't like show us
Harley
most of
Quinn,
everything.
we got to see a lot with. I mean, we granted we probably didn't get even half as much as we could have with her backstory, but we did get. We
Well,
were
we do.
shown a
Well,
lot
we
with
know
her
that
and
there's not because
Deadpool.
there was like there's 2 hours of footage that was with Jared Leto and Harley Quinn that was cut from the movie. Granted, I don't need 2 hours of Jared Leto's Joker and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, but it would have been good to know what the heck was going on.
Right.
Like, if you gave me reasons to watch them, who me definitely keep the souls. What's up, Katrina? Glad you're finally here.
Katrina's here. We got the full
But
gang,
like,
full roster.
if you gave me more reasoning behind the why Joker Leto was Joker Leto and like the way he looked, etc., the way he acted, give me more reasoning. And if it was told through the story
Is
with,
it Jason freaking Todd?
yeah,
Is
that's what
it?
I've been
Do
wanting to
we?
know.
Will we ever know? Will
I
we
don't
ever?
think we will. I really don't think we'll ever know. And that's this tragic thing about it. Everything led up to that too. Did you notice that? Like all the tattoo, all the red herrings of tattoos that he has on his body makes sense to be him being Jason Todd and not actual like Joker.
No, it could be either way. But what makes the sense is this Joker appears younger, and it wouldn't make sense. Ben Affleck's Batman has been around for a good like 30 years at this point, so it wouldn't make sense for him unless he just recently met Joker like in the last decade. It wouldn't make sense for this person to be Joker.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that like bugged me about it was the timing. But like contextually as a narrative, if that him being Jason Todd in this universe would have been actually I would have liked that.
I think the way we
Think
got
about
him
it.
in the Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think he was pretty confirmed not to be.
Well, yeah, I know that now. We know that now, but back when this movie came out,
Mhm.
think about it. So if it wasn't confirmed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, like the Red Hood Jason Todd essentially took the mantle of Red Hood because it was the Joker who killed him. It was like a slap to the face, be like, hey, I'm going to take your mantle. I'm going to take everything you're known for. I'm going to kill you. So if
And for those of you who don't know, Jason Todd was the third or second Batman's Robin that he
mhm.
had. That was, just for anybody who
He
doesn't
was
know.
actually a little criminal. He stole the hubcaps off the Batmobile.
That's
Who
gotta
does
take some
that?
skill. He stole the bat caps. Can't
We
hear
got a
you.
chat. We got a chat going on right now. What's going on over here in the chat land? So we got Katrina said she's late tonight because it looks like her boys wanted to fall asleep a little later, and then everyone else is going off about it. We got Christina's Disney Dreams in the chat as well. What's up, Christina? How you doing?
Lucas, you're muted.
Contextually, it would have made sense for Jason Todd to be the Joker in the Suicide Squad, just narratively speaking.
At that point in time,
yeah,
I think that was a missed opportunity that they never got to utilize. And I just, again, we are getting Ben Affleck returning as Batman in the Flashpoint movie. But I again, at DC is just this, toxic girlfriend that I have that's just like
doing everything in his power.
I'm like, I want all these things, and she just won't give them to me, and I feel like I'm trying too hard or something.
Yeah, doing everything in his power to make you feel crazy.
Yeah, it's like here's what we could do, but we're not gonna do it.
I'm in a broody mood tonight. Call me Alex because I'm brooding like the bat.
You gotta talk a little slower if you want to be Alex.
It's okay. He'll be here soon. He actually texted me. He actually texted me and said he was on his way. So, but
I don't have that kind of charm. I'm too nerdy and excited.
Excitable little boy.
Yeah.
So, anybody in the comments right now that's been here, has anybody seen the movie yet? Just throwing that out there. Anybody?
We've had about a week.
I know, right?
What are you doing?
For a week already.
Yeah, I mean it's on HBO Max. So if you don't have HBO Max, get the free trial for this movie because
get the free trial, watch this, and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Krista's seen it. Ooh, okay. So we're actually gonna have some good.
Katrina has
some good back and twice. I've seen the movie twice, Justin, and she's like, "You, my friend."
Well, I usually do a rewatch for these live streams, but I didn't take any notes this time because there's pretty much enough here.
Christina's asking, "What's our favorite character from the squad?"
We were gonna wait for Alex, but I would say it's really hard to choose between Polka Dot Man and Killer King Shark.
100% King Shark. Second character would probably be Ratcatcher too. That's newly introduced. Oh, actually, no. Bloodsport. Oh man, it's hard. There's just a lot of likable characters.
Christina, what we're finding, if you like the first one, you might not like this one because according, like, if we're talking about Lucas's wife, Carla, she loves the first one and did not think this one was as good.
Krista, when are you going to be in Disney? Because me and Carla are actually going to be in Orlando this weekend.
She's going to Disneyland Paris, Lucas. She's more suave and fancy.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know where she's
going. Justin, so when you say like the first one, or sorry, Christina, you say like the first one. I think if you like the first one, then you're gonna like this one as well because this one's just an elevated version of what David Ayer's take is. It's basically if you take someone who actually likes comic book medium and likes pop culture and comic books and actually tries to make a good Suicide Squad movie. Plain and simple.
It really depends on the reasons you like the first one. If you're like us, where we just love movies, you probably would like the second one better because it's more of a cohesive story. The chemistry between the characters is superior. There's a lot more moments with each character that feel earned and special. There's a lot more setups and payoffs, and
this dialogue's better.
The fact that it's R rating, the fact that it has an R rating gives it a lot more room to accomplish a bunch of different things that the first one was limited by. Especially when you have a rogues gallery of villains, supposed villains that you would expect to do really dark things. They have the opportunity in this movie to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of anti-heroes essentially this whole movie. They turned King Shark into an anti-hero. Like, who does that?
Does he even qualify as anything but just a bumbling buffoon? Because
he's my bumbling buffoon. You shut your mouth.
I love that he's a bumbling buffoon. I'm just saying I wouldn't call him an anti-hero. I think he's just
I mean, they're
of
all
followers.
villains. They're all
Yeah,
villains, but then they've become anti-heroes through how they handle situations in this movie.
right. And we talk about some of the actors. For those of you who don't know, Sylvester Stallone plays King Shark. Um, I'm not a big fan of his, but I loved him in this role. And it's not that I don't think he can act. Um, I just think that he he's very one note through most of his movies. And this movie, he's
Katrina said she loves King Shark. I do too.
I
Non-away.
do too.
Non-away.
And he's very one note in this, but like that's his character in it, and he plays it very well. And he's actually really funny. And I wonder, you got to wonder, Lucas, how much of this movie you think was improv?
I don't know. That's the thing. Is like there's a lot of these jokes that seem like they were done on the spot. Like, how much do we want to get into this with Alex? Because
Well, but before he gets here, we can talk about comparing this to Guardians of the Galaxies because
oh, true. Because he well
James
no, he
Gunn
likes
directed
Guardians.
it.
He likes Guardians of the Galaxy too. So
But he
it
don't
would be
deserve
interesting
to
info.
talk about no Marvel stuff. He hates on it so much. I don't know. I didn't know that. I knew he liked them, but I didn't. I guess we
Yeah,
can wait for him.
there's very few Marvel movies where he likes, but he definitely has pointed out
Katrina
multiple
just
times.
told spoilers in the comments, people. So if you don't want spoilers, back out.
It didn't hurt mine. Justin looked at me and he's like, "They're gonna get him."
I was like, this is a bad idea. There was a lot of like what since Katrina brought that up, and we're gonna go ahead and spoil it.
Man, Krista,
Um,
no, that's rude.
I mean, I wish I was Alex. He's so cool. Like he's just so suave, and he's got all the ladies loving
That
him.
radio DJ
People,
voice.
the crowd here actually watch his streams, but they don't watch ours. So sometimes.
Justin,
So I wish
no,
I
take
had
that
that.
back.
Um, no, I mean, Alex is cool. I'm trying to like postpone some of the good points because I love talking to Alex.
Kept saying fish are
Um,
friends. Gosh, our friends.
well, right. So there's a lot of moments in this where they're purposely making it predictable, and like there's a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, that guy's about to die, and immediately they die, and it's very satisfying in that sense because they're trying to like make it either funny or impactful. So there's a couple deaths that it's just like, no, don't do it. I know he's about to die, but they're gonna kill him, and then they kill him.
There was a couple of deaths that were surprising to me, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, like there is a handful of deaths that happen um all around. Yeah, Katrina shows up, but we're not just talking about you, Katrina.
Katrina, we love you though, so we
Yeah,
understand. You're always here supporting everybody.
Katrina
Thank
has
you.
our back. I'd love to see Krista show up every once in a while in one of our streams. That'd be cool. I love you too. Um, so there's like a group of people that die pretty close together. That's very shocking. But I like all of it, for the most part. There are certain characters that I wish we gotten more of. Um, Happily Ever After is here.
There's going to be two characters that one character is getting a confirmed spinoff series, and there's one that I
Yeah.
want to have a spinoff series just from the end credits.
Oh
I
God,
just,
no, no.
I just want one of him wandering around Corto Maltese.
Well,
Just every
it could be
episode is him doing something stupid.
like Pixar shorts with
Yes,
said character. All right,
yes.
we're bursting at the seams here. I think we should just. What time is it? It is almost
8:54.
9.
I did have a
So,
text from our friend the Bat. He is in the Mobile and he's on the way, so he's on his way.
all right, but Lucas, Katrina's already spoiling stuff. You're bursting at the seams, trying to spoil things. So let's just go ahead and get into it, and Alex can join us in the middle. We've done a good job working. I know, Krista, it's fine. I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all join when y'all can. If you can't, that's fine. You can always rewatch our live
It's
streams.
all right.
Yeah, but we're all adults. We all got crazy schedules of this 2021 year. Um, but let's get into this. So, uh, one of the things I was disappointed in, Nathan Fillion, who I love so much from Firefly, he's in this. I didn't know he was in this ahead
Had
of
one of
time,
the best
and
gag roles.
he's hardly in the movie, which was sad. But
Someone's in the backstage, guys.
is he
Speak
here
of the
already?
devil. Speak of the devil, and he appears.
Is Alex the devil?
Bum
I knew it.
bum
I
bum
knew it.
bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da da na. Bum to the 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 bum. Get in the stream. Get in the stream. Get in the stream. Bum. I can't keep this up. Bum to the bum to the bum.
Hello, everybody.
Alex,
I am
your
here.
your audience is just wanted you so bad. They were like,
Oh, I
who are
feel-
these people talking? We want them.
Oh, I feel love. Thank you, guys. How are we doing, gentlemen? Sorry, I'm late.
We're
It's
good.
fine.
We're good. We were
We,
getting ready to just, segue right into the
spoil it.
movie, and then you just popped right in.
Yeah.
So
Perfect time then.
we've mild spoilers so far. Well, now we're gonna go right into spoilers. So,
Sweet.
so let's let Alex take the floor now, since he just got here. We've already kind of talked about our favorite characters, but we
Mhm.
haven't really elaborated yet. But just throw it out there.
we're just
We'll get into
spitballing.
it. Who is your favorite characters?
Gotcha. Or before I start that, I want to say I miss you guys. Glad to see you guys. You and Justin. And also chat. I'm glad to see all you guys. I see Krista, Yadi, Katrina. Thank you. Christina's here. Love all you guys. Glad you are here. All right. So, favorite character. I'll do it real quick. So, this is probably the first film where I don't have a favorite character. I enjoyed Harley Quinn as always. I enjoyed the Polka Dot Man. I enjoyed all of them. There was one character, and I think we'll get into spoilers, that I wish didn't decease. But other than that, yeah, I enjoyed each and every character.
There's two for me that I am salty
There's
about. There are two.
Does
I
one
guess
of them
it's
have
so-
orange skin?
Oh God! Don't even get me started.
No.
That wasn't made me salty the way, like, actually angry about the death. That was just like,
Yeah.
why are you having a Superman level threat villain on the Suicide Squad? Dude, shut up. Whatever.
You're right.
Anyways,
You were salty about during the movie, though.
but it's a different kind of salty. Just be real here.
I guess there's two. There might be two for me. I wonder if we had the same ones. But anyways, yeah, we'll get to it. But there's two. But yeah. But other than that, I love the characters. I think the squad that they picked compared to the ones in the beginning was good. We'll get into more details about that, because I kind of was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, well, like, I know a squad doesn't mean it has to be like a minimum of 3 or 4 people, but I was like, well, this is like a full squad. It's like a basketball team here. But anyways, but yeah, though I didn't have a favorite. I enjoyed all of them individually. They all had their moments.
Katrina, I both agree and disagree with the statement, because I don't like Harley Quinn that much in general. But I do think she was more badass in this movie, especially with her fight scene that she had,
Yeah,
where she
her
dismantled
own hallway scene.
like 25
really
dudes. And I don't think she's
And
granted, she didn't have any time to prepare, whereas in Birds of Prey, she had all this prep time to go in and dismantle all the cops in the Gotham Police Department. But this one, she was escaping, so she was just being resourceful and utilizing what she had. So she's more badass.
yeah, the javelin. Also, Margot Robbie did the key trick herself.
Yeah, that was cool.
I read about that she
Yeah.
did it herself. That's
That girl
really cool.
is trying hard. Like, she did the elevator scene herself in the original movie, and then she did another like pretty cool gymnastic stunt in this movie too. So
Yeah.
good job, Margot Robbie.
I like Margot Robbie a lot.
Applause.
I like her a lot. I'm not just the
Yeah.
biggest fan of Harley, though.
I think I really liked her in this film. Like, I can't say that I enjoyed her more in this film than the other one, but I love that James Gunn gave her a moment to shine, where she, did what she did in that scene,
Mhm.
So it was nicely done. The only thing that was kind of weird, I mean, I don't know if we're getting into I guess we said
Yeah.
some spoilers.
All of them.
is that when she was doing certain things, there was like flowers or butterflies. I don't know what was going off in this on the background, which wasn't bad, but it kind of just threw me off because I was just kind of like, it was like, where is this coming from? Is this her visualizing this? Is this James
Yes.
Gunn just kind of showing off? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I
a
wanted to.
visual device. So it's going from that. My favorite thing about this movie that just just destroys the original in terms of quality is the creativity in the amount of that there would be splash titles, words on the screen that were being
Mhm.
used with the environment, like sea foam, tree roots, blood, and they would clouds in the sky that would form letters. My favorite was there's a shot where there's a bunch of like like stuff sticking off of rooftops and rubble that kind of form the letters from that particular camera angle. And just the cinematography was so inventive right from the beginning when we kind of start off. The first shot of this movie is the one of the characters whose name I can't remember with the long hair and
Savant.
Savant, and you're seeing his reflection in the water, which the camera then pans up to him sitting in a chair, and just there was so much effort put into that that the last one didn't have. The last one was very basic. There would be some crazy transitions and stuff, but this one did everything so much better. And going back to the flowers, that cinematic touch was a creative way to show how Harley is crazy. She does see things that aren't there. She's in this, really brought her character out in a beautiful
Yeah.
but very violent and grotesque way of when she cuts into people, little flower petals falling out.
Yeah. And see, that's why I said that scene didn't like I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy it. It just threw me off. But then I was thinking, okay, this is probably from her, what's going on in her mind.
Yeah,
But
her
it
point of
was
view,
kind of
like her
her point of view. Yeah,
perspective.
it was just
Yeah.
so random. Like, so if someone doesn't really know Harley Quinn and stuff like that, it would just kind of be like, where is this coming from? This is kind of
I
cartoonish.
I think this movie shows us the best modern day depiction of Harley Quinn. Like she had the roller derby, she had the roller derby bomber girl outfit on in the beginning. She has the black and red hair mixed with the blonde. Like she's dealing with the torment of Joker like brutalizing her all her life. So there were little notes if y'all picked up on some of the things she said.
Yeah,
There's a lot of things like when she was going after the thinker, like when she was going back and forth saying all some like stupid stuff about if you do this you'll die, if you do this you die. One of the
I
things
am
she
walking
says,
back and forth.
one of the
That
things
was
she
really good.
says is if you have a personalized license plate, you will die.
Yeah,
And that reference is because of the Joker's purple Lamborghini.
Uh, well, that's good, and that's James
yeah,
Gunn showing respect to her character. I mean, and
It also shows that this is a sequel slash like reboot, not a remake of a movie, not a like completely overhaul of a movie, but this all the stuff that happened in the Studio Squad movie, like it happened, and
yeah.
James Gunn moved forward on it.
yeah, this is a sequel.
It is a true blue sequel, even though that they people didn't understand that, but this is a straight up sequel.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was the scene. We are getting into spoilers, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Okay.
in. Let's go.
Just making sure. Yeah. Anyone, if you guys kind of came in last minute, we are getting into spoilers. And don't forget to hit that like button to really help out our channels, and really help out the video. But the scene where she was with the gentleman that was trying to marry her. I mean, this when she was getting emotional,
Luna,
she was it that's his name?
Luna, yeah.
Luna. Okay.
Yeah, because she's
And
like Miss Luna has a nice Harley Luna. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Sorry.
you're right.
Sorry.
When she was talking about the type of men that she chooses, I know she was. I mean, because obviously the only person she was really in love with like that was Joker. So you can tell, it had to do with the first film and stuff. So I saw like some connection there, and it wasn't just like what Lucas was saying, a whole remake or anything. Um, but well, let me talk about this, the squad. So the beginning of the movie, um,
Through me.
yeah, I was just like, I mean, here's the thing. I've noticed a lot of people. There was a lot of people if that have critiqued the movie, I'm slowing down a little bit. They have mentioned that they didn't like a lot of the killing in the beginning of the movie. But I was like, okay, you do understand Suicide Squad?
That is the most
That's
Suicide Squad thing possible.
yeah, like there's no like there was a reason why they're dying. And let me bring up the one character that I had a problem with in the beginning of the scene that I wish they did not kill was Captain Boomerang.
Yes, that's one of mine.
Captain Boomerang, even though like he's not like the greatest or anything, but like I felt like he would
But now
have
he
met.
can't continue into the Flash movie.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
a main Flash villain.
he
So it
is.
would have been cool seeing him square off in the Flashpoint movie.
And
You really think it would have been cool seeing this version fight Ezra Miller's Flash?
Yes, 100%.
yeah, this version is better than the one we got.
No. He just doesn't have like Ezra Miller is like god tier power, and this guy throws a boomerang.
Yes.
Not much
That's the
going
point.
on there.
That's the point of this whole shtick. As I just wanted
No.
I just wanted Guy Courtney.
So let me compare him in this film and the other film, because in this film James Gunn made him like actually gave him like a moment to where he showed off his skills, where in the other one he was just kind of just talking so much and he didn't seem like a cool, like I didn't really care for him in
Deadpool-y because he had the unicorn and
and this one you actually see him and it's like James Gunn, how are you going to have him throw the boomerang and do what he did, which was awesome, and then he dies. I was like, if he would have, I would have loved to see him stay on, because like Harley Quinn and that squad that they had, that would have I would have loved it.
Yeah, Harley, Rick, and
Rick
Boomerang got put on like the D-list squad.
Yeah.
Out of everything.
I think Boomerang dying, like of all the people who died right at the beginning, Boomerang was the biggest name of those characters. So I think having him die really gave the movie a lot of great stakes to where you're at any moment thinking that anybody can die.
I had anxiety the whole time. Did I not? I looked at you, Justin, and like my heart is going like 90 miles a minute right now. One of these people is gonna die.
If just TDK, the orange strong person, Mongao, Savant, Weasel, if it was just them dying, and the dude with the javelin, the French dude, if it was just those 5 dying, you would be like, oh, they're just killing off.
And Blackguard, remember Pete Davidson?
Yeah, and they're just killing off people that are not big names. But Boomerang was very impactful because like, oh, they actually killed one of the most famous of that group, and it really leads to the feeling like there are actual stakes for this movie. The Suicide Squad doesn't matter.
And I'll agree with that. That's true, because if you're right, because when we were talking about the teaser trailer, we saw certain characters and we're like, who's going to be the throwaway character? I thought it was, no, I don't think I said John Cena. Who was I thinking? I don't remember, but I just know that I was like, there's some throwaway characters. They're going to die. But you're right. If you don't kill Captain Boomerang, especially that early, you're just going to, you assume and think that everyone's going to be safe on the squad that they chose.
Just want to say the standout character for me was definitely Antwoman. I mean, Ratcatcher too. Just saying. Like, I loved her so much. I want her to have like her own either outing. I don't know why I'm getting Peacemaker. Give me like Ratcatcher, the series. That's what I want.
And going to that, I think they spoiled a lot of the freaking jokes in the trailers, which makes me hate that I watched them, because there was so many that would have hit so much harder if I hadn't already seen them, especially with Ratcatcher and such.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the best ones. Sorry, Alex.
Alex, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, that's one of the reasons. Like, if I see a teaser trailer, I mean, usually teaser trailers don't win me that quick. They'll get my attention, be like, okay, I'm interested. I'm waiting for the main trailer. After that, I don't watch any more trailers. If the teaser trailer is that good, and I'll just leave it like that, because whether I'm gonna hate the film or enjoy it, I don't want a lot of scenes being ruined for me. So this movie, I did not see a lot of the scenes or read about anything. Yeah, the jokes were really funny. I didn't see any of that, so that when I watched the film, it was all fresh. But you know who's the character? Real quick before Lucas, I know you were gonna make a point. He was in the beginning scene. I forgot his name as an actor. I think it was. Let me say. He had the long hair. Savant.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. There we go. Tell me why you get a really good actor like that and make him seem like. I was very intrigued with him, I loved his look. He's sitting there with the little bouncy ball, and he kills the bird, right? And I'm just like,
Oh
oh, this.
yeah.
And I'm like, you're starting off with this character that, oh, he's gonna have like a great epic scene or something. I'm intrigued, like what's gonna happen. And he's the one that runs away like a little sissy and gets his head blown off. And I was like, what was the point of that, James Gunn? So if there was one thing that I was upset about was Savant. Like, why did you get this hype up about him and he ran away?
Because they even they made a joke about it between Peacemaker and Idris Elba. They're like, "Oh, you're me? Then why are you coming on this team?" Savant, Peacemaker, Bloodsport, Harley Quinn could also be thrown in there. Rick Flag could be thrown in there. They're all the same person, just different costume and different attitude. That's all it was.
I guess, but there was
So
no
Michael
intimidation
Rooker,
factor.
Michael Rooker, if you followed him if you've seen him in other things, you
Yeah.
know he's never played a role where he would have ran away like a
Yeah,
little
no.
whiny
No.
person. So
The
seeing
Walking
him do
Dead,
that,
all that, no.
it like was just so funny to me because it's like that's
It
not
was
Michael Rooker.
it was a pretty
Yeah.
twisted scene. Like,
But
I
he's
didn't
friends
expect
with
him.
Gunn. Sorry.
I was just responding to Katrina. That was it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
like,
friends with.
But like, why did James Gunn start him off in the film to get you intrigued on this character? And he does what he did with the bird, and then he like you, and then there was an
Justin said it
intimidation
right on the
level.
money.
I know, but like,
Stakes. Someone who
Shocked.
seems that powerful, someone who seems that not powerful, someone who seems that like skilled, just getting his head blown off by Amanda Waller because he sees a bunch of like it literally is like, I go on this beach, I die. Like that's what he saw. He's like, I go on this beach, I die. So he's
And
like,
then he
she's not
said-
gonna press this button. So it's better than the whole Slipknot like, wee, bye boys.
yeah. Well, I mean, and then he's over here calling the rest of them like amateurs. So then I'm like just saying like,
Yeah.
okay, here's your chance. Let's see what you're gonna do. And it was just like, wow, you ran
Just
away,
kidding.
and Amanda Waller just
Yeah.
and it was just like
It was a joke. I mean, it was.
he even saved
from
Weasel.
Yes, from the beginning when Weasel
Yeah,
started
spoiler alert.
drowning, I was just. I was like, is he gonna? I thought we were gonna see a lot more Weasel just from the trailers because they really did a good job. Other than spoiling a lot of the jokes, they did a good job not showing who's gonna die where in the
Yeah.
trailers. So I really thought Weasel was gonna be around, and no, he's gone.
I thought Weasel was going to be
Immediately.
more of like the Groot character more than King Shark was, but come to find out, King Shark was the Groot
He was a
character.
good character.
Yeah.
And speaking of the
Yeah.
jokes, granted, we got the hand and bird, like we got those jokes. We got those jokes, but think about the jokes that he had that we didn't see. Like think of the mustache one.
Oh,
Like
that
where he
was
just walks up behind. He's like, if you wear his mustache, we're still gonna notice who you are. He walks up behind them, just like not even giving a dang. And he just puts his finger up, and it's like we can still tell who you are. And all of a sudden, you just hear F-bomb and goes and just like stumbles away into the darkness.
I think that was my hardest laugh in the movie.
I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it.
Yeah.
Like you seem like King Shark seemed like just such a dumb, innocent baby, and then all of a sudden he just drops like a gigantic curse word and just like shambles away like a bear in the woods.
Yeah.
And Alex, you had mentioned Savant kills the bird,
Yeah.
right? Do you guys think James Gunn just hates birds? Because there's another scene in this where there's this like bird ape, like this cage of a bunch of birds, and the dude just freaking burns it, and you hear this
he's like,
horrible, just disturbing bird scream sound, and it's like, ugh.
yeah, I don't know. Because when Savant did die, there was a bird. Wasn't there a bird like
Got his revenge.
looking-
Yeah,
The
got his
exact
revenge.
same
So
bird,
if he
the
really
exact
would have
same
hated
species.
him, he would have given him that
but he
moment
kills a
of
lot of birds though.
thinking about it, I don't know. Maybe
birds, James.
maybe it's not that he dislikes him. He just knows that you kill a bird and you'll get the crowd or the audience, feeling a type
Yo,
of like cringe.
guys.
What?
So since we're talking about the deaths a lot, I just want to segue right into this one real quick, and then we can go back to the thoughts on the movie. But who is your favorite death?
CDK,
Not because
maybe?
of the character dying, but like how they died. Like
Oh.
who was the most like like you know, when you watch a horror movie or a slasher movie, you're like, that was the coolest death of the movie.
That's
I would
hard.
say I would say how now when you're saying cool, like the way that the way they died, huh? I would say
Yeah. Is it doesn't have to be a squad member too. Think about
Okay,
how
then
a lot
King
of people
Shark
died.
ripping the guy in half.
That was your favorite death?
Yes.
Okay, so nameless actor 12.
That was the
I think
most
what would be
violent
my
thing that
favorite?
happened, I think.
I mean, that was the most.
Or the dude, or when they shot the fan and it fell into the bathtub, and the guy was like, ugh.
Think about the whole scene, though. Think about when Peacemaker walks past the guy and like stabs him like 5 times and then whacks him in the head.
I would say when Peacemaker had the gun and he pointed behind him and he shot him and he had it was an explosive one. I would say that was one of my favorites right there.
And I love that joke when him and Peacemaker and Bloodsport are having their Legolas Gimli who can kill more and be more stylish kind of little contest. And at the end, Idris Elba Bloodsport's like, nobody cares about you bragging about stuff, and he's like, they do if I'm bragging about dope stuff, and he's like, you're right.
You got Katrina coming in with one of the even darker ones where he just munches on the guy's head for like a solid 5 minutes.
What did you call it? Like a chicken wing, Lucas? What did you
Yeah, no. So like, no, Alex, you'll find this funny. I said
a drumstick.
I said King Shark looks like he just rolled up at a theme park and he's munching on a turkey leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think my favorite one though would have to be. It's hard. It's really hard. Even though he died and I don't like it, I think Boomerang was one of my favorite ones. The way he died, like that looked like obnoxious, like all those branches and everything in you right before you get obliterated by a burning copter. It's like you're still alive, right? And you have all these splinters. You think of that feeling.
Did you notice how he smiled before the
Yeah, because
helicopter
he knew
hit
he
him?
was dead. He knew he was dead. He
Yeah.
accepted it.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. You know, instead of having him just kind of like.
Whereas you like have a Superman level threat dying from a stupid fire of a helicopter. Tell me how that works out for you.
My thing, I would have loved James Gunn if he would have had her when she jumped to the helicopter and she brought it down. It would have been cool if she actually brought it down all the way and then just started swinging it around all the soldiers or something, and not like her hanging on it. She's screaming all crazy like she doesn't know.
Do nothing. That's the thing. I looked at like there was this huge conversation I had with Justin about how you have like Justice League and Superman level threats fighting in the Justice League and fighting in the Suicide Squad and against the Suicide Squad. Like, spoiler, guys, Starro's the main villain of this movie. If you don't know who Starro is, he's an intergalactic alien that takes over the minds of people. He's like a xenomorph. He's like a xenomorph that has a hive mind. He is the controller. He is the conqueror, right? So like Starro's in it. Starro was the reason why the Justice League came together. He is the reason why they came together and were formed to fight. Now, why are you going to have the Suicide Squad fight a Justice League level threat when all of your people basically just shoot guns?
Yeah, but Bloodsport's gun, you can just keep adding stuff to and making it bigger. So
man literally just had Tony Stark's like nanotech in gun form.
That was a BFG from Doom right there.
It was. But that wasn't like my beef with this movie. It was just like, come on, guys. Like, if you were willing to put out the fact of these like Justice League level threats, but not give us a stupid Justice League Zack Snyder 2 where Darkseid's involved, how can you give us Starro? Like, how can you give us that, but not more Darkseid and Nightmare, Batman and Joker conversations? Like, doesn't make sense to me. It just got me salty.
It's interesting that James Gunn, I'm guessing he was part of the team that chose to decide on Starro as the villain for this film. Because like you said, they could have went smaller.
He had free reign with this movie. Like, this whole movie was him. Warner Brothers gave him free reign with this movie. No restraints.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be Warner Brothers learning from their mistakes, but I don't get my hopes up for that from the future.
Which is fine.
That makes me wonder where Flashpoint's going to go. Like the Flash movie. Like think about it. If they take the restraints off for a Flash movie that's dealing with multiple versions of Batman, including Michael Keaton and Batfleck. So ready.
All right. Now the other Suicide Squad that died, Polka Dot Man. I kind of cringed because I was really, like I said, I enjoyed all the characters, but when he died, it was just like I understand none of them were like, you know, in the safe bubble, safe haven, anything like that. But it was just like, I mean, he was just like, I wanted to see a little bit more of him, and then he died, and the way he died too, I was happy with it, but I was upset at the same time. It wasn't like a stupid death. It wasn't one of those like, wow, you like literally that's how he's gonna die. That's how he's gonna die in the movie. I thought I was okay with his death, but at the same time I was upset because I really liked him as a character. And I would have loved to see him do some more against Starro, and I don't know. But, someone had to die, so I guess I'm okay with him.
When I initially saw him die, I was upset because I was like, oh, I really liked him. But I think the way he died was so perfect for his character. I think his arc was just enough to make me satisfied. Like, because at the end of the day, really don't need much more of him. Like, he did what he had to do, and he, as a character. And
he's a Z-list villain for Batman, so why are we going to keep him around?
And he gave us some of the best gags in the movie where, like, right off the bat, let's just go through them. He's like, I find it easier I don't like killing, but I find it easier if I pretend they're my mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And then
yeah.
And then when they mistakenly kill all the freedom fighters, and they're like, how come our people didn't stop you? And everybody's talking about, we didn't see any people. And he just goes, I turned them into my mom and I killed them.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
And then you get to see that
King Shark pops into the tent during that scene. I'm sorry. I just was reliving the scene. And you can see King Shark just go, hello.
you get to see two instances where, number one, the Suicide Squad is all his mom, and King Shark is just his mom as like a big bloated creature eating something. And then you also get to see Starro as his giant mom. And
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
And his powers were way more powerful than probably most of the people on the squad. He just didn't use them that much.
Yeah, exactly.
He was the strongest member on the squad. He just, like you said.
King Shark, according to Amanda Waller.
Yeah, and see,
I think Pokemon Man hurt Starro, like legit hurt Starro. Wasn't just getting his little pimple popped by his shark jaws.
Sure.
Alex, you were saying?
That's why I was saying with Polka Dot Man, like you just said, he brought enough throughout the whole film that even though I was upset when he did die, I was satisfied the way, like I said, if he would have died earlier, like way earlier in the film, like just some stupid way, then I would have been a little upset. But to keep him throughout the whole film and to have him die the way he did, I was okay with that. I was just like, good job, James Gunn, but at the same time, I hate you because I really liked him as a character. So,
and as soon as he starts screaming, "I'm a superhero," Lucas heard me. I was like, he's about to die. He's about to die right here. He's gonna die.
Yeah, because he said superhero, not supervillain.
Yeah,
he said hero.
What's interesting too is, hey, Disney Breaker Chris, how you doing? Glad you're here. Welcome to the stream. Don't forget to hit that like button. The thing about it's interesting about Polka Dot Man is because when he was talking about the story about his mom, he said his mom turned him and his brothers, right? Brother and sisters, or I don't know if he just said all brothers.
She was a scientist at Star Labs.
Scientist at Star Labs, and he said she was trying to make us into superheroes, but the way he said it, he didn't seem like he wanted to be a superhero, like if it was forced upon. Then you get to the scene where he, like you said right before he dies, he's like, I'm a superhero, and so it was like interesting. It's like, so you did want to be a superhero?
No, I took that as him screaming it at his mom because his mom wanted that, and he was like, haha, I'm a superhero now and I'm killing you.
Yeah, because he sees his mom.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just okay. So that makes more sense.
I mean, you could look at it either way, I suppose.
So,
but he's crazy. You know?
Yeah.
Is
He
it
said it
bad
was
that I
crazy.
knew the only person who was guaranteed to survive out of this was John Cena's Peacemaker because the series was told to us was coming before this movie even aired.
I never thought for a second Harley was going to die. She's like their Wolverine. You know?
I thought she might at one point. I was like, "Oh, this might be it. This might be the final kick in the bucket." But I mean, what else are we going to get from Harley Quinn? Do we have a Harley Quinn movie coming out again? Do we have the Joker Harley Quinn movie? Do we have another Suicide Squad movie? Do we have an actual Batman Harley team up? Gotham City Sirens? Like, what are you going to do? Why would they keep her?
She's made them a lot of money, so they're going to keep her.
And then Idris Elba. I mean, he could have died, but I mean,
he
he's like a big ticketed actor, so I guess not.
Because they want to leave it open in case this movie does well, which it doesn't look. It's doing well for an R-rated movie during a pandemic, but it's not doing well overall.
Yeah.
How's it doing on HBO Max right now, though?
It's free,
Like,
so they don't get.
They're
not going to release that for. I don't even think they've released it. It took like 3 months after Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they said that didn't do very well on streaming. So
that's crazy.
I think they're lying. It had to have done very well. I just think they're trying not to make another Justice League movie.
I think they are too. I think they were too.
I mean, because I mean, just knowing the times are different. So, like you were saying, it's doing pretty good for for being the pandemic. It sucks that it's not, what's going on because
for
I think
an
this
R-rated
is
movie during the pandemic, it made like $3 million. So not that much.
But I mean, it's a really good film, and I just think it's interesting what some of the people are saying about the film. One thing they were bringing up is they said it was too cartoonish, and
I didn't think anything cartoony about this movie.
Yeah, there were. So I was just wondering where some people said with Starro. They said when Starro showed up, it just seemed too cartoonish, and they lost interest. And I was like, really?
No, it's dumb. Like, and that's kind of what Lucas's wife Carla. She said that I thought Starro was dumb. Yeah, he is dumb. It's a giant starfish. This is a silly movie. This is a comedically toned, ultra violent, over the top movie. That's the perfect villain to have for this kind of movie. I think Starro's dumb. In the same way, I used to think Aquaman was dumb, but then Jason Momoa kind of made me like him a little bit more.
I think any cartoon violence movie. Yeah, none of us did.
What kind of cartoon are you watching where a starfish opens up its little butt?
Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy.
Right.
Ren and Stimpy.
There we go. I squashed it, guys. We watched Ren and Stimpy the live action.
They literally have a scene where this dude's face is just gone, and they have the starfish dangling over his face, like trying to grab a hold of it, and his face is gone. Another guy's body is completely missing from the waist down.
But
I mean, cartoonish.
Yeah.
Maybe did you watch Invincible or something like?
Yeah,
I mean, the only thing cartoonish I could see is like when shark just goes up behind somebody and goes nom nom, and then just like ate the whole guy. I mean, that's not. I mean, it's cartoony, but that's the character of King Shark. Like, he eats people. I mean,
yeah. I didn't see anything. I don't know. Maybe it might have been the King Shark and Weasel and probably Starro. People were out of, but it just to me. Oh, maybe from how the certain scenes were introduced. You know how, like you were saying, Justin, with the lettering and stuff like that in the background.
The splash text, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not cartoonish, but I'm just trying to figure out where people were trying
we got the same thing. We get the same type of like transitionary cards in Marvel movies, like when they go from like city to city to city.
No, there's never it's always just inputted text. It's never using the environment. This is something that artistic movies do. This is just an art film, and it was done. If you want to talk about cartoony, the first one feels more cartoony because they literally have a bunch of 3D animated graphics going around, and that's fine too because it just feels like the opening of a James Bond movie. Like that's a silly complaint. That's one of my favorite things about the movie is how creative they use those environments. Whereas meanwhile Harley, there's even one point where they're like mission Starro, and then it changes to Mission Harley because they got to go rescue Harley. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that they were doing that. Yeah. Throughout the whole film. I was gonna bring up Weasel. I was gonna bring up Weasel. Did we lose? Oh. So Weasel, I really thought Weasel was gonna be like the I guess kind of the Groot in the film. I know I
That's
was
what I
thinking,
thought too.
yeah, I
Because
thought
he's
Weasel
James
was gonna
Gunn's brother, so I thought he was going to get more of a part.
yeah. And then
But
like
Were you gonna say his Calendar Man?
yeah,
Aaron?
yeah.
we did get Sean Gunn as calendar man. And did anybody notice who was next to him? It's another like D-lister villain.
You told me, but I forgot.
Double
because
down.
I don't know anything.
Double down. So we
You want me
got
to double
two.
down on who I think it is, or
No, that's the name of the character. You schmuck. You schmook. You schmuckety schmuck.
You know, thinking about Ratcatcher real quick, so we're kind of going through certain characters.
yeah,
You know, I think Lucas was talking about how he really liked her and wanted to have her own little mini series. I really enjoyed how they brought her backstory because, you know, like in the first one, they were kind of not great on giving, you know, telling the backstory of all these characters, you know. And in this one, I
this
really
is
enjoyed how
Katana. She's got my.
yeah, you know, I really enjoyed how
My
she was
name's
on the
June
bus.
Moon. I found an idol, and now I'm witchy. Let's get it.
Sorry, it's just
I
how
really-
bad it was, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed how she was on the bus and she was talking, you know, she asked, you know, Bloodsport why he had a problem with rats, and, you know, and then it kind of got into her story and stuff like that. So I really liked not just her, but everyone else, how, you know, there wasn't like a flashback like how she had kind of had it. Which
Oh, it
is
was so
interesting.
cool. It was so
She was
cool
the
how
only
she
one
was
that
in the bus and the window. They were
yeah,
using
the
the
window.
window.
I love
So
that.
creative.
That was really good. I really
And
love
Taika
that.
Waititi.
Yeah.
As her dad, yeah. Ratcatcher 1. Sorry, Alex.
Um,
I just threw that out.
No. You're. That's a good point. Yeah, I really loved that. That was another thing that I really loved about that scene. But just thinking about it, she's the only one that had a lot of flashback scenes, right? Nobody else really, because like
She had the
Polka Dot Man.
flashback scene. We had storytelling with Bloodsport actually real time, unless she did like a couple days earlier scenario because of his daughter. And a fun thing about that, his backstory, is I looked at Justin again during the whole thing. I'm like, hey, look, it's reverse Deadshot. His daughter hates him.
Why would
You're
you
gonna get Will
steal?
Smith, so let's get Idris Elba instead.
Why
and
would
have
you
a
want to
reverse
watch a
backstory.
movie on your watch?
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that thinking about it, she's the only one that got a backstory.
Well, we
Because
didn't
Polka
need
Dot Man
one.
was just kind of like, I know we didn't need it, but I'm just out of all the
Well, for
characters,
Harley, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah. I was just like, you know, because Bloodsport didn't really get one. All you know about him is that he has he does not a close relationship with his daughter. Which
And
is I love that
He
scene.
worked with
I
Rick
really
Flag.
yeah, he worked with Rick Flag, but and Peacemaker,
Just
nothing
there.
really there.
Just
We
kind
But it
of
don't
was
know anything about
yeah.
Peacemaker. We just know he will do anything to keep the peace.
He
Yeah,
will
to keep
kill
the peace.
any man, woman, or child as long as it
He'll also suck a whole bag of
that
of genitalia on the beach. If
Peacemakers.
there was a whole bunch of genitalia on the beach, he would suck every one of them for peace.
Yeah, and they spoiled that joke in the trailer. It would have been, you know, it's funny, but I didn't laugh as hard in the
But
movie.
they spoiled that joke, but he has better jokes.
Yeah, the whole like
Yeah.
if dope or whatever, you know.
Yeah, where it's
I would
just
shoot a smaller bullet that would go through your bullet.
your bullet. But yeah,
and that's a
Like,
lot of this movie setups and payoffs. So earlier, you know, Harley gets the javelin, sets up her using it later on. We get the whole bullet going through the smaller bullet, which is how Bloodsport beats Peacemaker. There's so many characters in this movie. I'm trying to get their names right, but
Yeah.
there's all these really fulfilling setups and payoffs in this movie that I think are really good. Even with the team of people with working with Amanda Waller, talking about how you would do that. You would put a kid and you would kill a kid and like that sets up them turning on her later on, which was not
Yeah.
expected at all.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
no, it was not expected at all.
Lucas,
One of
That lady
my
that hit her too.
one of my favorite payoffs was when King Shark picks up Ratcatcher 2 and like goes to eat her while she's sleeping, and then Bloodsport and Peacemaker, I can't remember which one it was, just unloads their clips
Bloodsport.
on him, and he just
Bloodsport.
keeps running at him, and then he fires on him harder, and he's got being damaged by these bullets. He's just sitting there taking it like a champion. So I'm like, huh, that's cool. I wonder if that's gonna come back. And then lo and behold, Shark hits the ground, gets back up, has some little teeth marks on him from the little chubby, the little gub fishes, and then the whole Corto Maltese army lays into him with a hailfire of bullets, and he's just sitting there like, "Don't touch me, I'm hungry."
Yeah.
So I'm glad it came
Alex-
back again. That was one of my favorite ones.
You're gonna say something. Alex?
No, you already covered it. The whole bullet, the small bullet. You know, he got his little moment there. So I really, but with Ratcatcher 2, excuse me, when she had that heartfelt moment with King Shark, it's just like, do you eat your friends? And he's like, I had no friends and all that. And
I
she's
know
like,
friend.
yeah, I know friends. And she's like, I'll be your friend. I thought when she got in trouble with Peacemaker and he had the bullet, and because he was already in the building, I thought he was gonna show up right behind Peacemaker and grab him and say something like, no harm friend, and eat Peacemaker. I thought Peacemaker was gonna die like that.
I thought he was
really
going to try and eat Ratcatcher 2 again when she like went to shake his hand. Like I was
Yeah.
like, this man is literally
Yeah,
going to try
I
and eat
said
her
that
again.
too. Me and Lucas were like, about to eat her. She's gonna get eaten. But no, he was nicer than I thought. I didn't think he was gonna go that way. Also, like that scene you're talking about when he's shooting King Shark just reminded me of the extremely in your face tidy whities of John Cena. And he's like, why are you wearing tidy whities? That's racist.
Yeah.
I also like the animation during that scene too for like King Shark. Like he went from like this like and dum to like ravaging bloodthirsty like creature coming after somebody, and the animation changed completely for him. Like you could see like the veins and everything like tense up in his dad bod, like coming at somebody trying to eat her. So it's like one of my biggest things about this movie is the attention to comic book costumes and accuracy of what the characters look like. Like James Gunn did a really good job at like making comic book character costumes look good, and granted some like ridiculous looking ones like Peacemakers. Peacemakers is a perfect example of a ridiculous color scheme costume, and it turned out great. Like I wasn't looking at them like, hey, this is a terrible costume. Like, why does this man look the way he does? No, he looks awesome. He looks completely awesome.
Well, I was reading an article where James Gunn, when he was working on King Shark, because there was different.
It's all right,
like with any.
thanks for stopping in no matter what.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night. The thing about King Shark, I was reading an article that James Gunn was saying that he wanted him perfect. He said that, and it goes with any character, when you're doing CGI, but he said he wanted to make sure he wasn't walking too much of like a human. I'm slowing down a little bit. And he said he wanted to make sure when his vocabulary was kind of like what would make kind of sense for like a shark like that, and he said, and everything he said, from everything, the way it looked, he said he wanted to make sure it looked like a shark with, but not too much. What was the word he used? He just wanted to make sure it looked right for a character that has legs but has a upper body of a shark and stuff like that. And so he said he kept like the different variations that they had from him. He kept saying no, and also going back to the voice, he wanted to make sure the voice was perfect too. So going back to Warner Brothers giving him, it was all in his hands. Like he did not cut corners at all. So like you said, Lucas, everything looked good. Like that is why, because he said he spent a lot of time to making sure King Shark looked good, and he spent a lot of time.
And he's a fan of comics too. That's
Yeah.
the thing. If you actually get someone who enjoys the medium to actually come in and do a project, then you're going to get a good project. Like this is perfect example of it. Give other people who love comic books as a medium, and like Zack Snyder, and let them have free reign.
Yeah.
I also love the
Um,
scene where King Shark is talking about how he's moving, where it's like they're in the jungle and they're trying to sneak up on the people, and he's just like just scampering in the background, like
yeah.
just sneaking. I was like, I laughed too much in this movie, man.
It
You
was
know,
worth
and
the laughs though. Like
Hmm.
yeah,
you said,
you
a
guys.
lot of the jokes were in the trailer, but they weren't, and I like
No, they
that.
weren't.
No, a lot of them were, but there was still enough of them. I just wish they had spoiled a lot of them. They would've been funny. Anyway, I said that
Um, I was gonna mention about King Shark. You know how you guys were kind of saying like he was kind of like a big, like dummy. But what I did like in one of the scenes that James Gunn did was that he was reading a book. Given it was upside down, he was saying that he pretty much was saying that he enjoys reading books, but like just trying to show like he's like I'm not a I know it was upside down, but it's like no, I'm not a complete idiot, but I'm trying to be a little bit more intellect with or I don't know if he was trying to work on his communication or what, but at least he was trying. He got a book. That's a start.
That's where, like, when he says, I wear disguise. I was like, wait, how does he know what a disguise is? This is
Yeah.
like he's been too dumb so far to know anything, and now he's like, that's a good idea. He could wear a disguise, and then he brings it back, fake mustache, and I'm like, yeah. And then he does it like, I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
And then the best one word
Yeah,
F bomb drop of the
yeah,
whole movie.
yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can go
Another
back and
thing,
forth on that
another
one.
one before we start retreading, I wanted to talk about to elaborate on the cinematography. There's 3 scenes in this movie, at least. I think there's more, but there's several scenes, but at least 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, where the team is being shown off in its glory all together. Right at the beginning, they're in front of an American flag, and they're all kind of walking up in a horizontal line. There's another one where when they're coming off the beach, they're very well framed. The second team, like, go to the team 2, and then they come out of the water, and it's just the 4 of them, and they look really awesome posing.
Yeah.
And then probably the best one is when it starts to rain, and all of them are like slow mo walking through like this white fog, and the colors are just really popping, especially with like Harley Quinn's dress. The textures on King Shark are really showing off. I mean, it just looks fantastic. There's so much effort put into just making this movie look like an expensive work of art versus the
Yeah.
original, which was a MTV movie music video.
Yeah. I mean, and this is what happens when you get the right director
Yeah.
and let him do what he needs to do. And we all agreed, when we were talking before the film, I don't think none of us had a doubt that this was going to be, with the cinematography, with everything, I mean, even the music, that this was going to be a bad film. A lot of great shots, a lot of perspectives, a lot of I'm trying to think. I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 for a minute, but bringing up like you were saying, like the lettering and the perspective. That wasn't in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that was his thing in for this film, and it fit this film. So just
In
different.
Guardians, it was there, but with like massive amounts of CGI environment. So
Okay, because I
this is
couldn't remember.
way more grounded, and when it's more grounded, when you're actually using a camera versus a green screen, you have the
Okay.
opportunity to make things look even better. So this movie looks like a film versus a really expensive CGI film, which I
Yeah.
like both. But
For me, one of the best shot scenes was the Avengers scene, as I call it, when
Nom
it's
nom.
like where Idris Elba goes instead of Hulk smash, he goes nom nom. Hulk, he's like
A
not away,
shameless
nom nom.
parody. A shameless parody. Like they weren't even trying to like deny that that's what was
And you
happening.
just see him like sailing soar up there and eat the little starfish pimple.
Idris Elba
Such a
all
good
of a
feeling.
sudden becomes Captain America.
And then, I mean, we already talked
Ordering
about it.
everything.
We would be retreading, but I think one of the other best shot scenes is the Harley Quinn hallway fight scene
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and that
And
reminded me
the killing of the rebels as well, or the resistance fighters. I think that's
Yeah.
also a really
All the
well shot
different.
scene.
Yeah. All the different angles. Yeah. It was really good.
and a lot of
Um,
that, like the Harley Quinn scene, reminds me of in Guardians 2 with Yondu and Rocket
Yep.
walking, and Yondu's just using the arrow, and it's just all these different planes of action going on with all this violence.
The resistance fighters scene, like the one where they all died, that reminded me more of the Yondu scene than the Harley Quinn scene. The Harley Quinn scene made me think of like every hallway scene we've had in the past 10 years, like the Daredevil hallway scene, the Darth Vader hallway scene, the Punisher. Exactly.
You mean the
like
3 Daredevil hallway scenes?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying though. Like there's
Go
been
watch
this
that.
stigma there's been this like thing in like action movies in the past couple of years where at least one character has a decently long, almost not full on one take, but like pretty much a one take of them just doing a really bad, like a BAMP fight scene. And I like it. I like it when it's done really good and done right.
This one wasn't a one shot, but like it didn't need to be. It was still really, really good.
The fact that they had Harley Quinn seeing what happens when she kills somebody gave me like chills, because I'm like, this would be what she sees. She doesn't see that she's doing anything bad. I mean, she knows it's bad and she knows it's gonna have like repercussions, but she sees it as fun.
Yeah, and that's exactly what she was having fun. Like, just like you could see it. I mean, that was a really great scene. I was gonna bring up, did you guys, real quick before we probably go into the ranking or how we rate the movie, did you guys, because I watched it in theater, I think you guys watched it at Justin's, right?
Yeah,
Right
we watched
here.
it.
Did you guys watch and for anyone that's in the chat, if you don't want to hear this, I know we're in the spoiler talk, but there is an end credit scene.
Which
If you want
one?
to hear about it, leave. Well, it's one really. It's really one together, but I'm just gonna bring up Weasel
Yeah, she
coming
did,
back
Katrina.
to Weasel coming back to life. Why did James Gunn wait till the end of the film to do that and not make Weasel, not have Weasel come back like during somewhere in the film?
Someone mute this man.
That actually got me excited. Like when I saw, because I was sitting there going like, man, I wish Weasel was alive. And then, you know, he comes at the end, and I was like, okay. I was like, but I'm like, is that going into the second film, or was that just kind of like for jokes and giggles?
Me and Justin were talking about it before you got in. Like, we were just like, what if Weasel had like little Pixar shorts where he just did like 5 minutes of something stupid on Corto Maltese and seeing all the dead bodies and the carnage of like the aftermath of the squad versus the army and Starro. Like, think
Weasel
of him
chases a lizard, and it's just
like think of him getting inside Starro's dead body and just swimming around, like just looking in, and then just re-sinks into it, and that's how it ends. Like, one of them says like him like trying to pick the Starros off of people and like starts licking them. Like, that's all you need. That's all you need. And him like going around and looking at all the people that were on his team, like him fingering like Blackguard's hole in his head, and then like him like picking up like Mongal's like burnt charred body and just like making those weasel noises that are like and then just dropping her. Like, think about it. I would die. 5 minutes. That's all I need.
That'd have been funny. But I mean, so as I'm saying, I know. I'm just curious. I mean, we can just speculate, but I'm just curious. Like, you bring him back at the end. Is he going to be in the second film? Because I think if you're going to make I mean, if he does, I would love to have him back, because he had some, even though he wasn't in the film a lot, but like the scene where he was licking the glass in the prison, hilarious. You know, just him in the helicopter, and just like you said, him waking up from the dead, and he's just kind of like, you know, and he makes a little noise. That was funny. So
I think it was just simply
he gave us the Danny DeVito penguin walk, his little dad bod and lanky like.
I think he was just there as an excuse for James to have his brother Sean be a part of the movie and be funny, because he's really
but I mean, if he brings him back, I would love that. But have him like just like that subtly in the background and doing just to be the
Warner Brothers,
comedy.
give us Weasel shorts.
So if you've been following James Gunn, he has been very grumpy old man lately, and he's been saying, I don't want to do movies anymore. I'm tired of doing movies, but he's contracted for the third Guardian, so he has to do that. So I don't think he's going. I think he's going to take a break or be doing TV, because he's tired. He's been,
TV equals Weasel shorts.
Do you you know, you bringing up that fact? Do you feel like, because I've read some articles, and again, that's different from when someone's talking to the press and giving you an answer. But I feel like, do you feel like this film, because he I don't know if it's the first time in all the films that he's made, but to have the freedom that he did to make it the way he did, and it looked like he had fun. A lot of the actors were saying they enjoyed working with him, and he said he enjoyed making this film. Do you feel like this film maybe gave him a little spark to where he might be like?
No, because the movie's been finished filming for since last
Oh
summer.
yeah.
And he said this recently where he's tired. Like he said this in like May, where he's just like, I'm tired of making movies. There's too much bureaucracy. Everything's kind of boring. He even said, like he's like going back and forth. He says like superhero movies are becoming boring. And granted, the last one that had come out when he said that was Wonder Woman 1984. So I was like, yes, agree. But he yeah, and then recently, like just a couple weeks ago, he fired back at Martin Scorsese for like a 3-year-old comment that he said where Marvel like superhero movies feel like roller coasters instead of actual films. And he's like, well, that's cynical, but it's like I don't know where James Gunn is at. He's kind of all over the place right now, and I think he's like really frustrated by the whole. Because if you don't know,
Having a midlife
Disney
crisis.
fired him for tweets he had made that, granted, they're bad, but they were like 15 years ago, and he's grown since.
Yeah.
And they fired him because somebody brought them up and made them public, and someone wrote an article about it. So they fired him. And then
Yeah.
DC and Warner Brothers was like, please work for us, make us some money. Your Guardians movies are great. Everybody loves you. Just come here. And then Disney decided to hire him back. So this movie, I feel like, is his temporary exodus from Disney to make this. And I think once he's done
I
with
feel
Guardians
like
3, he'll be done with all of
I
it.
feel like
Go
Warner
on.
Brothers like dangled the idea of like, hey, you come
can do
from
whatever
like
you
a
want.
horror movie background. You can have visceral deaths in it that are relative to horror movie style deaths. Come make our movie. And James
You know
Gunn was
what they
probably like,
said?
you know what sounds
Yeah.
good? Awesome.
What they said was, James, come work for us. You can make whatever superhero movie you want, anything you want. And he said, I want to do the Suicide Squad, which they said, okay. And that's all it. And then they gave him freedom to do whatever. That's what happened. Like that's on record. So exactly. I mean, they teased him with the idea that you have complete freedom. Just come do something because you make money. But this
Yeah.
movie's not making them that much money. That's their own fault. They should have kept it with theaters only. You know.
But what has hurt them still though because of the stupid
Yeah.
Delta variant running around. I don't want
Yeah,
to go
but-
into a
But
Corona talk, but
Black Widow made tons of money even if you don't count the premiere, just because you have to pay $30 either to stream it or go to the theaters. HBO is like, it's free, it's included with your purchase. You know,
Mm, true.
so it's not making
Um,
money.
we'll see in the long run. I mean,
Yeah, I mean these critics love it, and yeah, I mean plenty of time they can look at the streaming data. They can look at, hey, we can take this at a loss and we can go forward with it. But I just don't think James Gunn's going to want to continue with doing. I think he's tired of all the business side of it and just wants to go do his own thing.
that's fine. TV shows, you know where you start? Weasel, the series.
right.
You really want it that bad, huh?
Oh, I want it. Like, I'm just envisioning all like the funny gags he could be doing because basically he's trapped on Cold Maltese. That's where he's trapped because he can't swim. So he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
We need to follow
You know-
Sean Gunn on Twitter and then ask him, like, DM him or just keep retweeting Weasel Shorts. Let's go.
Real quick, just mentioning something quick with Weasel. That scene, the opening scene when he was on the helicopter and he jumps out and he's trying to swim, and what's his name? Rick was like, did anybody not check to see if Weasel can swim? And Amanda Waller was just like with this dead stare and looks over to the dude at the desk with the glasses, and he's just kind of like, whoop, like he made the whoopsie. I guess he was supposed to check, but you could just hear in the
And
background,
he's double sweating because he bet on. I
Yeah.
think he bet against Weasel dying, so he's like, please don't
yeah,
die.
he
Please
did.
don't die.
And then she looks at the exact same guy because he's the one who didn't tell them.
Yeah.
You telling me a highly trained professional killer is scared of rats? Did we not know this?
Yeah, and we didn't really talk about Sebastian, which is a shame. We've gone an hour and 24
You
minutes.
mean
Sebastian, Remy. I mean Sebastian, the rat.
You
The
mean?
rat.
Anthony. Yeah.
There we go.
I didn't want to talk about Ant-Man because he's gonna fall asleep. So
Krista. Really, that would be funny. That's how you would be. um,
Sebastian was cute. I loved the setup of him being afraid of rats, and then Sebastian being all about Bloodsport the whole movie, and then at the end where he finally takes a nap on Bloodsport's knee, and Bloodsport has grown as a character because they've all grown as characters this
Do
movie.
Yeah.
you know
And
Sebastian
he
was a
starts
real
petting
rat?
him. I imagine there were probably parts where he was, but for the most part, there's probably a lot of CGI. He's not.
No, there
Yeah.
was, but there was a real rat on set. Sebastian doing tricks.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
awesome.
we also didn't talk about Rick Flag getting Mortal Kombat stabbed through the heart, where
Oh,
they
yeah.
X-ray it.
That
So
was my other
he's-
one I was upset
he's
about.
freaking dead, dude.
My
He's
two
dead.
that I was upset about was Captain Boomerang and Rip Flag.
See, I was upset with that, but when he was fighting with Peacemaker, I was like, Rick Flag's gonna die. I was like, I just was waiting for when he was gonna die. So I was kind of just getting ready for the scene.
I knew
So
Peacemaker was going to make it all the way through because of the Suzuki series, and that made me angry because there was multiple times where I'm like, hey, he's going to die.
I could
Like, it was
completely do
surprising.
without more Peacemaker. I am not interested in at all to watch the HBO Max series with him. I do not like John Cena.
I'm interested in
movie-
seeing why they said he's going to save the world.
I don't know.
Like, what
But-
threat is he going to be dealing with that he would be saving in the world?
Cubo, Sphero,
Oh my gosh.
Pyramido.
Diamondo,
You know, it's interesting that
Rectangolo, Hexagono,
Yeah.
Octagono.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want to do one more example, Lucas? I think. Yeah, any more shit? No, shush. Anyway, Alex. you're-
Cylindro.
No, I was just gonna say. No, I was just gonna
Triangolo.
Melt carton.
Shopping basket.
Okay.
I'm surprised
okay.
you guys.
Okay.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go like in the ocean
Oh.
because we got a king star, you got a starfish. So, anyways,
Oh, yeah.
Fisho.
Seahorse man.
he's yours, man.
Seahorse man.
Sea cucumber
Real quick,
boy.
John Cena. Real quick with John Cena. Actually, I didn't like him in other films, but I did like him as Peacemaker. I was a little worried, like nervous about it, but I did enjoy him as Peacemaker. I think he did a really good job as playing the character Peacemaker, making the jokes, the just everything. So I enjoyed him as Peacemaker, and I'm curious to see the series, but I didn't have a problem with them, which I thought I was going to have a problem with. I'm like, oh, why is John Cena in here? Like, I hope he's one of the kill off throwaway characters or whatever. But
Right.
I was actually glad he stayed as long as he did, because he brought that character to life, and he made me just enjoy him as an actor in this film.
Plays a
And I
good
feel-
butthole.
Yeah, well, I was gonna
exactly.
say D-bag, but like because Peacemaker is a D-bag, and I think John Cena plays a D-bag very
And
well.
he played
But-
very, very well.
But he acted so bad that when he killed Rick Flag, his face
Mhm.
emotions showed me guilt and doubt. And then I told Lucas, I'm like, oh, he's gonna grow here and he's gonna feel bad. But no, he then doubles down, not to be confused with Double Down from earlier, but he doubles down on
hate
his
you.
being a jerk, and I'm like, this would have been like, I'm glad he didn't, because they gave them someone to fight other than Starro and the Thinker and all the, but I at that point I felt as if the way he acted it, I would have been impressed had he learned from that, because that's how he portrayed it. But no, he didn't, and so he's still. I think he's a bad actor, and I have yet to see. I think he does
I don't think it's
comedic
a bad
line
actor.
delivery pretty well.
I don't think that scene would be him being a bad actor. I feel like it's still keeping in tune with the character. You don't have to have a redemption arc if you're already a bad dude. Like, if you're playing the bad dude and he just like keeps being the bad dude, It's not. You don't have to have redemption. He's the bad guy, essentially. Like
I'm not.
he's the second antagonist.
Do you know what I'm saying, Luke? Like, do you understand? I'm saying he portrayed it in a way like he was going to have redemption or go after redemption, and then didn't do it. Which, if he had
Well, I
done
mean, he
that,
might
it
have
would have
actually
felt.
thought it. That's why he showed
That's
that
what I
way.
read on his face, and he didn't go that route. So I felt like
But
he should have.
his
acted
whole
just
shtick of a
like-
character is he has to do anything to keep the peace, whether he likes it or not.
But that was the
That's
only
his thing.
indication we had that he didn't like it, and even Bloodsport throws it in his face, where he's like, "I don't think you care about peace. I think you just use that as an excuse to do all these violent things because you do like doing them." And he maybe this was good acting, where he looked like, you know, he had some. He was like, "Oh, you're right. That is me." But I thought that this character arc was going to be him growing from that, like him realizing that maybe he needs to be introspective, and he doesn't. That his character wasn't written that way. So I felt like he should have written it. He should have acted even further of a d bag. Like him trying to have dimensions without a character arc was off putting to me.
Well, we already established that he respected Rick Flag. But he knew
he's a sociopath. I don't know how he respects anybody.
No,
he respected Margot or Ratcatcher because he's like, "Sorry, kid, I gotta do this."
Yeah, like there's instances of where he's doing what he needs to. He's doing things because he deep down. I think he deep down believes no matter what, he's upholding the peace. Everything he does is for the American government, essentially, like in keeping peace. So that's why he was put on the team by Amanda Waller as a failsafe, because she knew Rick Flag was already a flight case from the first outing he had with the Suicide Squad. Like, he sided with them in a heartbeat. So she was like, why am I going to have another person who's going to side with the whole squad if they decide to turn like tail on him? She put Peacemaker on there because he knows he about the business.
Yeah, I felt like this was his opportunity to really flex his acting muscles, and I just didn't see it here. I mean, maybe
we might see a change though in the show. So
I'm not watching the show.
We saw a glimpse of it here. We saw a glimpse of it in the movie. So he might go on to change in the show. Now, me thinking this way, and way I'm responding to you, if he doesn't change in the show, then I would agree with you that it's bad acting. But as of what I saw in the movie, I think this is some of John Cena's best acting.
You think this is the beginning of his redemption arc?
I think there might be some sort of redemption. Not
I'll give it to you.
Redemption.
I'll concede you that. But it's still not great act. It's good. It's okay. It's better than what he's done.
Coming from a person that has barely any great Oscar worthy acting chops, the best thing he's done is in my opinion is Cock Blockers, which is a comedic a comedy movie. I mean, he was great in that movie for sure. But there was no
Max, Katrina.
Oh yeah,
show's
true.
coming to HBO Max.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're good. But he's not a good he hasn't shown me anything good yet that I've enjoyed that was besides that comedic movie.
Well, he's good at comedy. He's good at comedic line delivery, and that's what most of these wrestlers they do. They trash talk and they deliver comedic lines, and that's where he excels at. But I just don't find him he's not very charismatic for me. He just feels like he's in the way of other people who are better, in my opinion. I'm not trying to hate on him too much. I'm just saying he needs to get better, and he should. Everybody should get better.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah.
You guys want to go into the rank? Will we rate the movie?
I want to talk about one more thing. Peter Capaldi's Thinker. He is my favorite actor to portray Doctor Who. I'm very in the minority there. Everybody hates me for saying that, but he is very good at monologuing. And I was watching this movie going, is he going to monologue? Is he going to monologue? Is he going to monologue? And he does have this little bit of a monologue, but there is this moment which makes me scratch my head. I also Lucas's wife made a joke where she looks at his head. She's like, how does he sleep with all those things on his head? And I'm like, maybe he doesn't have to sleep because he's upgraded to think all the time. But he makes this joke where they're like, do you want us to shove a rat up your butt or something? He goes, you'd be surprised at what answer I would give you. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. But he does have some monologuing, and that's what he's best at. It's not his best monologue, but I was just really happy to see one of my favorite actors, even for such a small role, have his ability to deliver that. And I also liked how Starro was not necessarily evil. He was just a prisoner that was trying to survive and go back to space, and was mad at everybody who had wronged him. He wasn't necessarily like a nefarious being who wanted to conquer the earth, which was really cool and interesting. And even his last line, where he's like speaking through the enslaved human being, where he's like, "I was happy floating amongst the stars," um, and I thought that was cool. Wasn't much dimensions, but it was some.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, in the comic books, it's like a son, basically son of Starro. His name's Jarro, and he's actually a companion because he's kept in
Oh
a
my
jar.
God.
He's a little tiny one that's kept in a jar, and he's actually a companion of Batman's now. He
Is
actually
is the jar Sphero or Cylindero? Like he's in a jar. Oh, sorry, I can't take it seriously. I can't take it. All right, so Alex, start us off with the ratings.
um,
'Cause I
okay.
think me and Lucas are pretty similar.
Okay. Trying to find something, but okay. So let me start off with acting, as always. What are you looking? Oh,
Is Batman punching a Robin Starfit? Oh my god! Oh my! Oh, just
it's Jarro, baby,
why does he have a Robin suit on?
because he's a companion of Batman's.
That looks like a freaking Pokemon.
so is he punching it or is he kind of like
He's
holding it
he's like throwing him.
like in a throwaway? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
So,
attacking for him.
what happened to Batarangs? You couldn't just use a Batarang? You gotta throw a starfish. living-
Strongest psychic mind on the planet, Jarro.
I thought that was Professor X.
Wrong universe.
um yeah,
Jungle Cruise
Krista.
fell asleep on her, and then Katrina we got an 8.8.
Ooh.
I'll talk to you later, Krista, about the Jungle Crew. Well, I think you did mention it a little bit anyways. So acting overall, I enjoyed everyone's acting because the different they each and every actor and actress were their characters were different, and it's interesting how they were different characters but they meshed together as one, as the Suicide Squad. And that's why I said like the squad that they ended up choosing that didn't die was better than the one that the film started off with. Because I didn't feel like when the film first started, I wasn't feeling like them vibing together, and like they're not supposed to. But I was just kind of like, this is the squad. I was like, oh no, and then they all died, and then the squad came out from the waters, and I was like, okay. But anyways, everything graphic wise looked like from King Shark to Starro. I mean, everything looked really good. I love Sylvester voicing King Shark. I think that was really, really good. And I loved all the characters. Like I said, this is a film where I couldn't pick, like, whether it was Polka Dot Man or Harley Quinn or whoever as like my favorite character. I enjoyed them all equally.
Carlo was on Instagram during some of this movie, calling you out.
Also, the pacing of the story was really good. Like I said, they didn't have to give us a background story to everybody, but the one that they did chose to do one on. I really loved how they did it, especially in the bus scene. Going back to cinematography and just that perspective, that was a unique touch. Very, very good and very well done by James Gunn. And it was a perfect moment to do it because he could have done it anywhere throughout the film, and he chose right there on the bus, and I thought that was a really good moment. So and talk about moments, really good moments in this film. There was a moments where I was just kind of like, this wasn't a good moment or that was bad timing. Like, it was just really good. So whether it was like the I'm slowing down a little bit, the introductions or just little subtitles of like what's gonna happen and something gets crossed off and it's something else now, mission and all that stuff. I really love that. It goes back to the pacing of the film. And I think the film also went like back like, 10 minutes ago or whatever. I really love that too. It wasn't too much flashback saying like, a couple days ago, and then you had to wait forever, and then they get back to the scene. Like, it was a good short amount of time, and then gets you back to the recent moment of the film. With that being said, and like I said, that I was upset about certain characters dying, but I was okay with it because, like I said, I'm accepting this is Suicide Squad, and for a lot of people, they were upset for the beginning of the film because a lot of characters died, and I'm just like, it just makes sense. I mean, and like they're supposed to die like that. But anyways, with that being said, enjoyed everything about this film. It wasn't perfect for me, but it was way better than the previous one. Way better.
I think we all
So I'm gonna
agree
give,
here. I think we all
yeah.
agree here.
So I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 bats.
All right, I'll go next. I'll be quick. I think this movie gave me everything I wanted and more. It subverted my expectations a lot, and despite having a lot of the jokes spoiled for me in the trailers, there was just enough left unspoiled for me to have a fantastic time from start to finish. I like how this movie had not it wasn't just this over the top gory action comedy. It actually had a heart and soul to it, and there were plenty of times for the team to bond as a family, and it didn't feel forced like it did in the first scene, even or in the first movie where me and Lucas both agreed when we were watching it, it was better. Both of them happened at a bar, but this one they all had fun. They all got to know each other, and I actually felt for them, and I actually felt for the characters because of the stakes at the beginning, setting up that anybody could die, except for I did not think Harley Quinn was going to die at all, ever, but anybody else could die, and it was it was just so unexpectedly joyful. I like how you could see the IMAX shots on the HBO Max cinematography. I'm If you put cinematography into a movie, I will overlook so much other stuff if it's done well enough that I just enjoy watching it. And this movie has some of the best cinematography I've seen from a superhero or supervillain comic book movie. So I give it an easy. I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's not. There's no movie that's perfect. It's not a perfect movie, but I give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's my first 10 out of 10 this year. I don't know.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if I've given any other movies.
No, I don't think you've given anything
But
10 out of
yeah,
10.
I wouldn't change much about it if I could. Lucas.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Gotcha.
For me, you guys both know me very well by now. I have an attention to comic book accuracy and animation. Everything that was not a physical prop or a set piece that was digitally put into the movie looked beautiful and did not look out of place at all. So, standout thing for me was the design and the functionality of Bloodsport's weapons. It could have easily been this gimmicky looking weapon that didn't look like it belonged, but if we can make a nanite Iron Man suit work inside Marvel, why can't we make a nanite style just gun work in DC? And they did. And they did it with a character that no one knew about. Same thing with King Shark. Awesome. That is I love good computer generated characters.
Yeah, and it like if you had seen this on like a regular movie theater screen instead of an OLED 4K TV, you think you think it would the CGI wouldn't have hit as well, Lucas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like
I think it still would have been good because
it does look a lot better when you watch it in that form.
Because even when they showed Starro, I was expecting it to be awful,
like
really
the arms, the detail,
crappy.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be really crappy looking, like out of place. But no, it was a gigantic kaiju attacking the Spanish community.
Even
And
the
it
way
looked
he was
great.
walking, even the way he was walking,
Exactly.
was like,
He reminded me of the Stay Puft Marshmallow
I also
Man.
thought it was going to look stupid when the starlings were on the faces of all the people. I thought it was going to look stupid, but no, it looked cool. It looked
Mhm.
cool.
And it was set up by them walking around the lab and knowing what was going on underneath
Exactly.
between the
That
face and the
scene,
surface.
that physical,
Yeah.
like that was I want to know if that was a practical effect or not with the open face.
I
wonder if
imagine
that
the
was a
face
practical or
was,
not.
but the starfish was CGI, and it
I
was
mean,
probably a
if,
model. Yeah.
I mean, there was points where I thought Weasel was a practical effect.
When they
It
were,
wasn't CG.
yeah, when he had him in the water when he was
Yeah.
carrying him, definitely practical.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
it
saying.
didn't
There's
look so
attention.
different than the CGI that it was jarring, and that stands as a testament to the CGI.
Exactly. And then we also have the costumes of everyone within the movie.
I just thought of Jaro because I said jarring.
You're forever think of Jaro now. But the costumes for everybody, even the throwaway characters, were very accurate to what they're supposed to look like. Like this Captain Boomerang looked like Captain Boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Yep.
the other one looked
I
like
agree.
he was straight from the hood.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I
So-
don't know.
exactly.
This one
Mhm.
looked good. Like I said earlier with Harley's design, I wasn't a fan of her design up until now, but I liked what they did for this movie. Like the bomber outfit and the red dress fit her character very well. Even this Margot Robbie version. So costume designing was on point for me. Animation was on point for me. Musical choices were on point for me. Scene direction was on point for me. Acting was on point for me. Dialogue was on point for me.
You brought up music, if you don't mind. I was going to say the last one, the music kind of got in the way of what was going on just for the sake of having that particular music choice. And in this one, nothing ever lasted long enough for it to really feel
Nope.
like they were trying to use the music to cover up what was not happening on the screen. Instead, they're using it. Someone else said this too, that they're enhancing what's going on with something that really fits the tone and vibe. And like right from the beginning when the Warner Brothers Splash logo happened, and you hear the "Hi everybody, I'm Johnny Cash." I was just like, I smiled
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, this is going to be something special.
The
So,
thing, one of the other things for me is like
Hey,
it is
Vanessa.
hey Vanessa,
a B flick with a big budget. That's what this
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's a B
Exactly.
movie with a big budget. Like think about all the B flick horror movies that were out there that had a bunch of huge, like the main draw of it was how gross and gory and grotesque the kills and like the deaths of things are. Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, all the
Wonder how
deaths,
much money they
super
saved just
super
from
in
not
depth.
having Will Smith in it. You know,
And then think about it as well, like a B flick, like the corny jokes within the movie. Like
well, there's corny
it's
jokes in
Well, yeah.
that's pretty standard across all Hollywood anymore.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm just going back to the point of you give someone like James Gunn a film like this, and look, I mean, a good director, a film, any film, especially with comic books, and look what he can do, you know. And so, I
like
mean,
the only
This is James
the-
Gunn fully loaded.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
it?
The only flaws for this movie for me is the choices of some of the characters that were involved in the movie and their power relevancy within the DC universe. That's it. That's the only thing. It's just like comic book nerd nitpicking. It's not even like a movie nitpicking.
I gotta ask a really hard question. Do you guys like this better or worse? Which one do you like better? Zack Snyder's Justice League or this? I say this. Absolutely this.
ooh, ooh, that's a hard
As a
question.
movie. As a movie. Which
As a
one do you
movie,
think is better?
as a movie, as a DC
As an
fan,
experience,
as a comic book
Yeah,
fan,
I would say Suicide Squad. Yeah,
I don't think it's a hard. I mean, it is a hard for like hardcore Batman and Superman fans, but like this
yeah,
movie is there's no bureaucracy. There's no like desperately setting things up. It's just
mm-mm.
a movie that's fun and good.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
for me as a DC fan, Zack Snyder's Justice League because of the world building it was
Yeah.
doing.
that sadly might not ever go anywhere.
Exactly.
Like
No
punch
payoff.
Yeah, I
Warner Brothers
know.
in the face.
Yeah.
But as a movie critic or like a movie connoisseur, Suicide Squad. Like this deserves to be in the Oscars this year, in my opinion. Like it has a place. It has
it
a
definitely
place.
will be with how Rotten Tomatoes is looking at it. I would
Like
imagine.
if
Yeah.
Justin just recently watched this movie, Shape of Water. If Shape of Water can make it through nominations and get to win Best Picture, then the Suicide Squad should definitely be one of the next DC movies. I mean,
I
look
think
at
Shape
Joker.
of Water
Look
was
at Joker.
Oscar bait in general.
Look at Joker. Joker won Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker was a really good movie. That was a good, really, really good film.
I
yeah,
don't have fun watching it, but it is like one of the best movies ever made. It's just
yeah,
it's so depressing and sad and
It is.
uncomfortable.
But what I'm moral of the story is comic book movies have done well. And the fact that they're on the radar of the Academy right now makes me happy because of with Joker. Now, if they see this as the same light as they did Joker, I would love for it to be just be nominated. It deserves to be nominated for something. This is a masterpiece movie.
yeah.
I would say
I
the
agree.
director of photography, if it's not James Gunn, he should get some nominations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Staging
agree
is
there.
perfect. His blocking is just the creative decision making with the camera movement, and it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. The perspective of, I mean, just the different shots that he took. It was done really well. Yeah, and along with the music, because like you were bringing up, Justin, with the whole flag, and they were walking, but at the same time walking, there was like, I guess, I don't know if it's like the Squad theme song or whatever, but like it was a good song that they were kind of just like going with and stuff like that. But, yeah, he should get. I would say if there's one that this film should get, at least director of the year, best director. That's not director of the year, it's best director.
Director of the year sounds like
Yeah, I know.
employee of the
Sounds like
month, director of the year.
Yeah, like something on talk about Dunder Mifflin. That sounds like something from Michael Scott.
That's what she said.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, there you guys go. So for the most part, you got 10s, 9s. Anyone in the chat, if you want to throw in your rating, if you have watched the film. I know Katrina said, what'd you say, 8.8, so almost 9, about 9. So yeah, so it's a film to go watch. It's a film you will enjoy. Some of the things people were saying about the film, I don't like the too cartoonish. They didn't enjoy that there was some. If you haven't watched it, I'm about to say spoiler. Some of the killings in the beginning of the movie, and it's just like there's Suicide Squad. Even if you didn't know nothing about Suicide Squad, which I don't even know much about, but I can understand that they're not gonna. Amanda Waller is gathering up a team of criminals, and she doesn't care if they live or die. So they have no safe haven. So
shout out
they're
to her acting too.
Oh yeah, she's
Viola
really good
Davis is
Viola Davis.
besides Margot Robbie's Harley, is the most comic book accurate actress I have seen in a long time. I am scared of Amanda the Waller.
Yeah, it's really good.
She is one of the most intimidating women I've ever seen, and I would not want to be in a room with her at all. And that's like one more complaint. It's out of character for her to let the team that knocked her out live. You would think that she would just bash
I think
them.
I think because did you see
the
growing?
Like
I think she's planning it.
Yeah.
Don't you think she's planning it?
I think she's more likely going to do something psychological to them because they seem like a more likable team of people. Whereas she shot everyone in the room in the first movie because they were just there and they didn't realize that they weren't part of the mission. So these people can't know what we're dealing with anymore.
In the first Suicide Squad movie, did she ever lose it like she did at the end of this one, where she's like, "You stupid, I'll kill all of you," and she's like about to hit the button, and
she didn't. She was very stoic in the first one.
Yeah, so the fact that she did that so well, that jump.
I feel like okay. So in the beginning of the movie,
I'm not trying to prolong this.
But. No, but in the beginning of the movie, when Rick or who was it that was talking to Harley, and she jumps in And she's like, "Oh, Harley, you're back again?" So they've done this multiple times before. So how many times has Amanda Waller dealt with Task Force Exodus points? How many versions of this team has she been through? And how many times has she had to deal with this where she's like finally losing her shit because of all these little birds, like, you know, like doing whatever they want. And she's just like, "I'm going to kill you. You realize this, right?"
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, great film, great, all really good actors in it. So if you haven't watched it yet, Krista, I know Nerdiness, you haven't watched it if you're still in here. Definitely, it's a movie you need to see and check out. So whether you see it on HBO Max or at the movie theaters, definitely go watch it. So great film, like we're all
Thanks
saying.
for sticking around, Katrina.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you everyone that was in chat that you stuck around and watched.
Thank you.
I know a
Thank
lot of you guys haven't
everybody.
watched the film, and I feel like a lot of people haven't watched the film, so you kind of didn't want to hear spoilers. But the ones who did want to hear spoilers, thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Did we just
with
lose
that-
out? Oh, no, he's there.
Oh, no, he's here.
And the moral of the movie before we say goodbye is don't kill birds. Don't do that.
Don't kill birds.
Unless they're chickens. And,
Then you can eat chickens
or turkey.
or pheasant
Yeah.
or quail.
Do people eat quail or just their eggs?
Well, maybe.
Just only kill a bird if you're going to eat it, but like stick with the traditional. Don't be James Gunn and be killing little Tweety birds.
Tweety.
Yeah, eating chicken's fine. I used to make chicken for a living, so Lucas still might do that. I don't know.
Maybe. Alex, we can't hear you, my friend. Oh no.
Alex, so as Alex would say, always be yourself,
Self.
unless you can
If
be
you're a pretentious pop culture,
Batman.
and
But
if you're not,
be as pretentious a Coyote and Grizzly as you can. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.